Hello, friends. I'm so excited to be here with Sara Lindstrom. She is from Sweden. I had the beautiful opportunity to meet her in Sardinia, and we'll probably talk about that in a couple of minutes here. But before we get started, I'm going to have Darcy read her bio so we know a little bit about her. Darcy?
Hello, all. Yes, here's a little bit about Sarah, who brings soulful photography powered by nature to all of us and so much more. Born and raised in the woods of Arctic Sweden, Sarah is an award-winning photographer, creative guide, and retreat leader who works at the intersection of art, nature, and identity. Through her branding shoots and intimate retreats in the Scandinavian North and other wild corners of the world, she helps people slow down, notice beauty in the quiet details, and reconnect with their power. Her work uses the camera as both a mirror and compass. Whether she is guiding a client into the version of themselves they are becoming, or inviting a group into the therapeutic stillness of Arctic landscapes, Sarah sees photography as a pathway to healing, deeper self-trust, and an expanded sense of perspective. You can find out all about Sarah at saralindstromphotography.com and more in this conversation. I'll hand it back to you both now.
Thank you, Darcy. Yay. Well, I had the opportunity to meet Sarah in Sardinia at this amazing kind of, they called it a trade show conference um, with like the top retreat leaders in the world. And I got to connect with Sarah. They like rotated us all so that we can meet some of the different people there. And I was just like blown away, like healing through photography, and that she does these beautiful retreats. So I'd love to know more, Sarah, since we didn't get as much of an opportunity to connect for too long. Can you share with us what got you into doing this to begin with?
Oh, the retreats and yeah, everything I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah,
How much
like
of, how
yeah,
much of a backstory do you want?
I want it all.
It
I want
all.
it all. Yeah, like it's so helpful, I think, to know like the backstory, right? Because you put us through, and I'd love to actually go to your retreats one day, go to a retreat one day, um, to like understand the roots of it,
Mhm.
healing and how it affected you, and then the gifts that you get to provide us now. That would.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I guess it started like way back 15 years ago. I mean, I've always been really into traveling and photography. And after finishing university, I decided to go on one more long trip before I was supposed to go back home and get the job and get serious and all that.
Mhm.
Um, and I bought a one-way ticket to Peru and brought my camera, and I didn't have much of a plan, but I just wanted to, do everything that I loved, which included photography. And somewhere along that trip, like maybe a couple of months in, I had this epiphany on a beach in Costa Rica where I just felt like what I was doing in the moment just brought me so much happiness, like just traveling the world, exploring, meeting new people, and taking pretty pictures. It's like I'm gonna make a living doing this somehow. I don't know how, but I don't care because I'm so happy in the moment. So I owe it to myself to keep living this way for as long as it makes me feel this way. And with that, it was like doors just started to open. And 1 year later, I was offered a job by one of the biggest travel companies in Scandinavia to go do travel photography for them.
Mhm.
So then I started my business um, and have been doing travel photography since. But it was somewhere around right before the pandemic when I had been doing it for a few years that, I mean, it was a dream job for so many years. I couldn't believe they were paying me to do that. Um, but then I started to feel like it wasn't really giving me that sense of purpose and meaning.
Mhm.
And long story short, the pandemic happened. I was forced back home to Sweden. I had not really any interest in being in Sweden. It didn't appeal to me at all. Like I didn't think my people were there. I just thought it was a lame place to be. But being there and like not being able to go anywhere else just maybe slow down enough to start exploring that part of the world. And I completely fell in love with it and the nature up there, the silence, the the people as well, of course. Like once I started spending more time there, my people came, and I got to know a lot of entrepreneurs working in nature tourism, and one thing led to the other, and I felt this calling to start teaching, which eventually became my retreat concept of like bringing mainly women coming up to the Arctic part of Sweden and just immerse themselves in nature and learn about that slower, more wilder way of life, while also learning photography and like how to see beauty everywhere. Um, so yeah, that's one main part of the work that I do. And then there's the branding photography, which is this other side of like helping also mainly women to like step into that next version of themselves and like pulling that new identity out of them through the camera. So like using it as more of a mirror versus a mindfulness tool during my retreats.
Hmm. Wow. How long are your retreats usually?
They vary from like a long weekend to a week so far.
Mhm. And like what would we expect like going on? I mean, do you just take pictures all day long?
No, so that's why I call them retreats. Like there are all these kind of workshops around the world, and I have friends who've gone to them, like in, excuse me, in Norway, for example, like they're shooting the Northern Lights, so they're like out all night, and then they shoot during the day, so they basically don't sleep. They just like shoot, 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 shoot. And from the start, I was like, I don't want to do that. It doesn't interest me. Um, it's so much more about connecting with these other women and like sitting around campfires, having those deep conversations. It's just like really connecting. Um, and also learning about the place, the culture. Like one of my favorite concepts that I've done in the past is working with a Sami friend of mine who has this beautiful eco camp off grid way out in the mountains. It's like super comfortably set up, but it's also extremely remote and like not for everyone. But then along with learning photography, you also learn about the indigenous way of life and like how you live close to nature and how how they do life. And that's been extremely appreciated too. So I say it's like 50% photography, 50% presence and connection, and like soft adventures is also normally a part of it, like hiking or kayaking, or depending on the season, obviously, like skiing, dog sledding. Yeah, let's get to know the place.
And are most of your retreats in Sweden then?
So far, yes. Yes. We're Northern Scandinavia. Mhm.
Where in Sweden?
So that would be around the Arctic Circle, like way up north. That's where
Okay.
yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. And how long have you been doing this for now?
Well, it started just during the pandemic. So like early 2022 is when I did my first retreat. Yeah.
And I know when we talked a little bit, like I am a total novice in terms of photography. I would say in the last couple years, I have just organically been playing around and have found a lot of mindfulness and presence in capturing like moments.
Yeah.
So it's just coming very organic to me. Do you have different levels? Like, could anyone come and take pictures, or is it mostly like photographers?
No, it's basically open for everyone. I mean, one concept that I do is specifically for people who are new to like using a DSLR camera or like mirrorless camera. But there's always been someone who reached out and be like, I don't have a fancy camera, but can I come with my phone? And I'm always like, sure, yeah, of course. Like you're welcome. Like you might not, the workshop part might not make a lot of sense to you, but like for the rest of it and the creativity and the everything around it and just being among these people, like absolutely. And they've always appreciated it. So yeah, anyone can come pretty much. And I adapt each retreat for the level, and there's always something to capture. Like I'm not a very technical person, even though I've been doing photography for so many years. Like I know how to do it, but it's not my passion to teach those parts. Of course I can, but what I really like is to just inspire people to be creative and just see things in a new light and new perspective and like find beauty everywhere because it is everywhere. It's just about like getting curious and yeah, seeking it out.
Hmm. Hmm. I love it. What have you, how long have you been taking pictures?
Oh yeah. Um, I got my first DSLR camera right before I moved to South Africa, 15 years ago. Yeah. So about 15 years. And I mean, before then I had like a digital camera and like loved it from the start as soon as I got it. So I guess you could say like, yeah, most of my life, but yeah. Mhm.
And do you feel like it's been healing for you? Like, what's been your experience with the camera in your hand?
Yes. I mean, where I'm from this time of the year, we get a lot of darkness. And that's one aspect of photography I love. Um, because it really just slows me down of like, I mean, observing the night sky and also working with long exposure photography, like having those long pauses of like 30 seconds or more where there's nothing to do other than just look at the sky, like stare and be in the darkness. For me, that's extremely calming. And same thing with macro photography. I can really lose myself, like lose track of time when I start focusing on details and searching out beauty. So I think that's really the healing part for me of just connecting with nature and like slowing down and just shifting my perspective if I'm having a tough day. I can always go out and find something beautiful to focus on. And it just has gotten me very prone to see beauty everywhere. It's not a problem for me.
Mhm. Yeah, that's it. That's interesting because I do think um that's what's happened to me in the last couple of years when I like when I pause and I'm like, wow, this is so beautiful and I want to capture it and share it or remember it. There's just this like beautiful moment of presence that sometimes is so hard to drop into, with all the busyness.
Hmm.
So I think it's such a great device to be able to do that. Um, I love it. Darcy, do you have any questions yet?
I do. I'm really curious about about what you said about the darkness. And so much of what you're saying, Sarah, seems to be like photography as a metaphor for life or as a philosophy for life, like how to approach what's unpredictable and untamed in so many ways.
Hmm.
Looking through your photographs and how you capture everyday moments and like illuminate the wonder and the majesty in them, not just in, places in the world that are on bucket lists, but also in like the portraits that you take. Uh, I'm curious if you would share a little bit more about what you mean by like the dark. The darkness is kind of what um, gets your attention or how you can admire it, not just in photography, but maybe in other parts of life or how it could be a metaphor.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, seeing beauty in the darkness and like light in the dark. I mean, the Northern Lights is very much a metaphor for me. Like, there's always beauty to be found in even in the darkest moments.
Mm.
And we need the darkness to see that, to see the light and to appreciate it. Um, yeah. And I mean, with darkness, I was obviously talking about the dark sky. I don't know if that was what you.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I think Darcy and I kind of go into all different probably thoughts in our belief in darkness. We deal with a lot of folks that struggle with the darkness in their being and struggle with different mental health issues. So there's a lot to kind of play with,
Okay.
light and dark.
Yeah, and
Um,
I feel like my relationship with the darkness has really changed living out where I've been living for the past few years, which is a small house way out at the end of a road in the woods. And there's like no street lights, no traffic. It's just silence. And
Mm.
you become so connected to the darkness. And it used to scare me, but it doesn't anymore. Like I really enjoy it and like to be able to just walk. Even like during a new moon, there's so much you can see when you're walking through a winter landscape in the middle of the night. And it's, for me, it's, yeah, wondrous. Like I love it. It's, I think something few people ever get to experience. Like we always want to have a flashlight. Like we feel like, oh, we need to see where we're walking, but there's so much you can feel and see, but just like you really tune into your senses in a different way when you move through the landscape in the darkness.
Mm.
Well, what the listeners don't know is that you're actually in sunny California right now.
Yeah, correct.
So how's that for you? Is that just like a shock to your system? Is it too bright?
Yeah, I mean, it's been gradual. I was in Canada before I came here, but it's definitely takes some getting used to, like the level of noise and just yeah, I feel like everything is screaming at me, like look at me, hear me, see me, and just music playing everywhere. And it's very big contrast to where I'm from. I feel like I've gotten a little bit better or adjusted to that now. It doesn't freak me out as much, but in the beginning, my whole system was just like complete overload. It tends to be like that and take me a few days to adjust.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, from like the quiet dark to bright lights and sunny, sunny, sunny. Get
Yeah.
a dose of vitamin D, right?
Yeah.
Um, so is part of your existence taking photographs wherever you go? Like, do you just have your camera at your hip all the time?
I always bring it when I travel. I always have my camera, my basic camera gear at least, but I don't bring my camera with me everywhere during the day
Mhm.
because I also like to just be and like appreciate through my eyes. But if I know I'm going somewhere like into a national park, like of course that would be the main reason why I would go, like to take photos. So, but like in a city environment, yeah, normally not so much. Um, it used to be like that all the time when I was really new to photography, but now I kind of learned to only do it when I really feel like it to not get, you don't want to overdo it and like have it with you always because that also kind of takes away your presence um to be in the moment a little bit when you're always thinking like, oh, how can I capture this? How can I see this?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, at least for me doing it full time.
And your retreats, do you collaborate? You'd mentioned a little bit. Do you collaborate with other people, or is it you're the facilitator and then you bring in all these different kind of activities, or do you actually have other people that join you and co-facilitate with you?
Oh yeah, it's all almost always that co-facilitation. Like I love bringing in like working with people I know locally and also other retreat hosts. The last one I did was a collaboration with another woman who was she's doing a lot of breath work, which fit really well with that season that we were doing the retreat. Like the waters were starting to get cold and like we're doing a lot of wild swimming and cold plunging. And yeah, it was a beautiful combination.
And you are an artist yourself, so you sell your own photography, is that correct, on your website?
Yeah.
Is that a big part of your business?
I mean,
Is
like prints or selling to?
selling too? Hmm.
Yeah, it is. Mhm.
Yeah. So when you're not, I'm thinking like, what do you do when you're not doing your retreats? What's the in between?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I coach on the side, and I also have my regular older clients from the travel destination days, and got always new clients coming in. So like a lot of travel photography, just more of a conscious um, sort of focus these days. Like I shoot a lot of retreats. That's sort of my main thing, apart from branding photography, and they also blend often, like photographing people during the retreats and yeah, the whole experience. So that's, let's say, one of the bigger parts of my photography work.
Love it. I didn't realize you do coaching around this too. Could you do, is it mostly in person? Could you do virtual?
Yeah, you could do that as well. Mhm.
That would be pretty neat to do that with you.
Yeah,
Um,
I saw on your website, Sarah, about mentoring, and I was curious. I'm so glad you mentioned that. 'Cause curious about how photography and mindfulness go hand in hand and how you might guide somebody who's wanting to connect with more of their creative or mindful sides, how
Mhm.
photography might do that. Um, as with technology, it's so convenient to start engaging the creative process, and yet there's so little that's required by using a phone to
Mhm.
really pay attention, um, like you would with a more standard camera.
Mhm.
But what you're describing about slowing down and really being in the moment, like being in the terrain of what you described. I want to go on your street or not street in the middle of the woods. Um, how in your mentoring do you help people connect with the parts of themselves that maybe are less alive if they're living in a city or busy?
Mhm. Oh, like different methods, but like generally focusing on different aspects. So like give them tasks of like how to go out there and notice these little details. So it's like I give them small assignments for each
Mm.
week of like how to go and find that and really connect with what's around them. Yeah.
Hmm, I love this. Um, well, this would be such a unique experience. Do you get a lot of folks from abroad coming into Sweden to do this experience with you?
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of crazy how far some people travel. Like I've had last retreat from people from New Zealand and Australia, which is like literally as far away as you can get from where I'm from. So that's yeah, it's a sign, I guess, that I'm doing something that's attractive. And yeah.
Um, and you would set up the housing, the ability for people to come and stay in some kind of do they usually stay in some kind of hotel or something nearby or
Oh yeah,
cottage?
I mean everything is taken care of. It's all inclusive, like food, accommodation, transportation, everything. So they don't have to worry about that. They really just have to show up at Nears Airport and then yeah, I take it from there.
I love this. Oh, I hope to get to you one day. I so appreciate you coming on. This is such a lovely, like unique experience where people could really kind of connect. When people leave your retreat, do you notice a shift? Do you see any changes? Do you ever talk about that, like how they felt when they started and how they felt when they ended?
Yeah, it's like you see their shoulders coming down, it's like sparkles in their eyes, and I don't think anyone has ever left without that, like just feeling really inspired and enthusiastic. I always tend to ask them, like, yeah, how do you feel now versus when you arrived? And yeah, it's that, like, they feel super inspired and just like that lust for life in a way. Just, yeah, gratitude.
Yeah, I can imagine just being able to kind of to have that level that amount of time being able to capture moments and then intertwined with these beautiful experiences and adventures that you curate sounds really
Yeah, and just being in those landscapes, like they have a therapeutical effect on its own. Like just as I said, I think a lot of people don't even realize, how disconnected we are from the darkness and the silence, which we have in abundance up there. And that has a powerful impact on people.
yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Darcy, do you have any other lingering questions?
I'm wondering if you could give us an assignment, all of us who are listening, for something we could do going out in the world to pay more attention to the wonder that's around us.
Mm. Maybe I would say just go out and like look for patterns. Just like if we make like one simple assignment, go out and look for like five different types of patterns and just like see how they compare. Because I mean, when you really start looking at details and like leaves and like the bark on a tree, like there's just so much there. And like also, different perspectives. I mean, I shoot a lot with a drone, but you see a lot of patterns in nature coming again and again, like a meandering river, like how you can also see like little micro versions of that on the beach, for example. I was like marveling at that the other day here in San Diego. Um, so yeah, just that, like focus on five different types of patterns and yeah, start there.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
That's great. Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you, and we'll have all the info for our listeners so that they can check you out on your website and see all the 2026 retreats that you've got laid out. So thank you.
Thank you. Lovely being here.